Hello, me hearties. A very good evening to you. It's just me, Scottie McClue, Sunday night. Nothing gets past me, of course, and it's lovely to be back with you, and a big dinky-do to you, I say. Excellent that you could join us, and a very, very warm welcome. Lots and lots to get through tonight, and so little time, of course, as always, but we'll do our best. Get your names out there, of course, and tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10 that Scottie McClue is live just for you, Dinky-Doo, both on the TikTok and the YouTube. Dinky-Doo, Scottie, how are you? Leo, how lovely to have you with us. Where are you from, of course? Do tell us. Guys, make sure you tell us where you're watching from, because we are a global channel, and we like everybody to know who is who and where we are. Tremendous stuff, Dinky-Doo. So I shall just say a very good evening to everybody on the YouTube here as well. Good evening, I say to you. Good evening. There we are. Dinky-Doo. Dinky-Doo. Fantastic. Dinky-Doo from Scottie McClue. That's it. Good evening and Dinky-Doo. And that's that. That's lovely. So they all know about it. Dinky-Doo, Scottie, how's your day been? Oh, fantastic, Francis. Francis, tell us where you are again, because people love to see that. Scotland, we're Airdrie, mate. Anthea says, hi, Scottie. Hi, Anthea. Where are we from? Do tell, for goodness sake. Good afternoon, Scottie. From, and we don't know where that is, John asks. I can't see you. There's Ronnie. Scottie, I can't listen tonight. I'm going to bed. I'm up at 2:30. Ronnie, don't worry about it. We'll put it up on YouTube, and you can see it tomorrow. Hi, Scottie, from the halfway. Now, is that the halfway in Cambus Lang? I'm from Troon in Ayrshire, says Francis. That's it, Francis. You see, people just love to hear that. It's fantastic. There we are. Derek, Dinky-Doo. Well, you can see behind me. There we are. It's actually hanging beautifully. There we are, very straight. Is that you in the picture? That's me, Lord. Scottie, where am I? Mr. Papaman, you must tell us. There's Bobby from Dundee. Dundee, Bobby. Good evening, kind sir. Slippery Dan, tell us where you're from. Bermuda, Scottie. Ah, Jonas, that's it, Bermuda. I remember you saying to me, actually, and I said I had friends that used to stay in Government House. I think it was in Bermuda. It was one of the biggies. Anyway, fantastic. I don't know if all these places are just as well. Enjoy the likes, Scottie. Reese, you're very kind. Reese has just sent me 300 likes. A shout out to Jay from Invergordon, from Scottie McClue. I'll give him a shout out, Charlie. No problem at all. Must be your bedtime soon, Scottie. Oh, yes, Michael. Yes, if I'm not in bed by 9 o'clock, I just go home. So there we are. Now, Dad's Army, lovely, lovely. Fantastic. Nice to have you with us. And a very, very warm welcome. Guys, get following as soon as you come on. We need more followers on TikTok. Oh, that water is beautiful. Who have we got here? Hello, fine sir. Just having a game of snooker. How are you? Marco, you enjoy the snooker. Have you potted the black yet? Elephants in Maryhill. Oh, Glasgow. You get elephants all over the place. And remember, elephants never forget. I think that's very important. Where are you from, Scottie? I'm from Scotland, Charlie. So there we have it. Fantastic stuff. Now, everybody get following. So there, by now, I should have 1 million followers. And I think I've got something tiny. A Scot that drinks water. Jesus. Jesus drank water. Yes, absolutely. And it was baptized by John the Baptist in the Jordan. Is that right? Have I got that right? It's kind of back in the day now, that, isn't it? Derek, Dinky-Doo, although the world is turning to God because of the evil that are trying to dictate to the world, God is back making a big, big difference to people's lives. So there we are. Good will always triumph over evil, and the evil ones shall be punished. I shall tell you. Good evening, Scottie, your friend Long John here. Great to be with you, Long John. So lovely to have you back with us, and a big Dinky-Doo, I say to you. Now then, What else have we got here? Robert's joined us. Fantastic. Shay has joined us. That's the way it should be. We popped up earlier today, but we had internet connection problems. Good evening, Scotty. Lovely to be with you. And you. It's lovely for me to be with you guys, you see. This is the beauty of it, I say to you. And, of course, we're a bit sharp tonight. Normally we do a 9 o'clock, but I thought we'd pop up at 8 just to see who's about. Fantastic. Have you ever been to Invergordon, Scotty? Oh, I know Invergordon very well. I had friends in Kildare, and I used to come and see them, and friends in Milton, and we would pop over to Invergordon for lunch. So there you are. And, of course, Invergordon, have you ever heard of the Natal? And Invergordon was where the Royal Navy mutinied in, I think it was in the 1930s, the Invergordon Mutiny. Jerry Thompson, hi, it's Jerry, #1 van driver. Jerry, lovely to have you with us. And Dinky-Doo, your input this morning was spectacular. My friend Dinky-Doo from the USA, from Illinois, Darren, so lovely to have you on from Illinois, because we are global. Guys, I need you tapping. Who's not followed? Tell me if you've not followed and why. And there we are. Every single TikToker should follow Scottie McClue, and every single YouTuber should subscribe, I say to you. Jerry, it's great that you're with us, and your jokes this morning were a hoot. Mr. Trolley says, are you doing a phone-in? Yes, I hope you're not off your trolley. We are doing a phone-in. In a few minutes' time, we'll open the lines up. All right, Scotty, how's things, mate? Free Whitfield in Dundee. Paul, the Whitfield's a lovely part of the world, full of lovely people. And have you still got the wee flats? Are they still there? Or did they knock them down? You get a lovely view from the Whitfield. Global for sure, my friend. Darren, absolutely. How's it going, big chap? Dom, tell us where you're from. There's a guy who says, stop begging, and he says, we hate the Tories. I think hate's a very strong word. I mean, millions of people voted them in, and that's a shocker. So shame on them, I say. But I don't think we go hating, you know, and I think their so-called incompetence, a lot of it's intentional. There's certainly plenty of money around, and plenty to pay the ambulance people and the nurses and the railway people and the teachers. So there we are. Scotty, I always argued with wee fat Bob about you. Really? What did you say? Scotty, have you ever been to Dumbarton and Balloch? I know Dumbarton very, very well indeed. So there you have it. Oh, yes, we like Dumbarton. And my favourite teacher ever was from Dumbarton. Yes, that's what it's about. Now, who have we got here? Hearts 3, Hibs 0, Scotty. Hibs 0. I should say 0, shouldn't I, Jerry? Was that because I played This Is My Story, This Is My Song on the squeeze box? So there we have it. Could you say hello to my 1-year-old son, Jack? Winston, I can. Hello, Jack. Dinky-Doo. There we are, the next generation. Arsenal 3-2, Manchester United. Stallion, what's going on? I say to you, the government could cancel the rise in fuel right away. They could and they should. You know, it's all very well to be greedy, but give the money back to the people. You see, we own the banks. The bank's profit should go back to the people, or being spent on us on the health service. So there were, Coelho says, did a quiz. And the question was, who was the first director of the BBC? Thanks to your dog. I knew the answer. Yes, John Reith. When he set it up in 1922, Coelho, there were 4 employees, and it wasn't a corporation. It was the British Broadcasting Company. And you had John Reith as the general manager, and then he had a secretary, and there was a program director, and there was an engineer. So there you go. And that was the 4 of them. And I don't think many of them, probably the engineer did. And Reith himself was an engineer. Thanks, Scotty. He loves it. Much appreciated. Dinky-Doo, Winston. We don't own the banks. So there you are. And he mentions a famous financial name, says he owns the banks. No, but we bailed them out. So why did your famous name not bail the banks out when they were about to go bust? Scotty, what do you think of the banks trying to own real estate and properties? Seems like they want all the market. Well, Stallion, they'll have a problem because very quickly these properties will deteriorate and they will have to pay for owning them. And the rest of us will end up camping out if we can't afford it. So there we are. That's what will go on. And there'll be a huge glut of property left. Marco has joined us. Dinky-Doo Marco. Always good to have you with us. Can everybody follow? Get tapping your phones, guys. We need phone tappers and I need followers. Now, nobody tonight has followed on TikTok. That's just not acceptable. Everybody with a TikTok account should be following Scottie McClue. There we are. 2 billion people have heard of Scottie McClue. What did you have for your tea tonight, sir? Marco, we had an omelette. Very nice. The mushroom omelette. So there we are. So a bit of protein and a bit of high-quality carb. Hello, pal. Good to see you, Thomas. Great to see you. How serious is the rumour of us becoming a cashless society? Our PM seems keen on it. Well, yes, I would imagine so. So there you have it. Have a look and see all the companies involved. Hello again, Scotty. Hello, Leonard. Dinky-Doo. We enjoyed your call earlier today. It was excellent stuff. Now, Jerry Thompson, absolutely. I can't actually tell that because it's a proprietary company, but very good joke. Evening, or is it morning, Scotty? No, it's evening, Professor Numpty Head. Have you just wakened up? There we are. I thought I'd pop out a wee bit sharp tonight, Numpty Head, just to see who's about and test the water. You know, test the water. I think that's very, very important. Now, who else have we got here? What do you think of the Scottish transgender law getting blocked? Well, I don't like it getting blocked. I personally would like to see the age raised to 18 because I feel that at 16, never mind can drive a car or can do this or could do that. Or this is talking about people chopping off their most important bits. And the agenda at the moment will be pushing for that because it means people won't be able to reproduce. So if the guys chop off their bits, they can't have kids. So you're not adding to the populace. And if the ladies chop off their bits, they can't have kids either. So that's the thing. And I think that young people are hormonal. You have to be very careful you don't make it a fashion statement. You know, the fashionistas and that, because these are very, very painful, massive readjustments to somebody's life. So it's not a lifestyle thing. It's probably, in fact, could be perceived as more a mental thing. And I can see that they're well-meaning and wanting to reduce anguish, you know. But I think that 16 is a bit young. So I would like to see that. But I don't think that the Westminster government's doing themselves any favour by blocking things. Nothing but facts, Scotty. Always the facts. What about the tax dodgers in London then? Well, Marco, I would have said that gentleman should have had the decency to phone up the Prime Minister and resign, write his letter, discuss it and get out. So there you go, because when you've got somebody actually making an attempt to avoid tax, you know what I mean? Can you say hello to my brother Aidan? I can, Leonard. Hello, Aidan. Glad you could join us. And a massive Dinky-Doo. Fantastic. Guys, I need everybody watching to have followed. Have you? That's the thing. And am I right? Is that how you follow? You press the plus sign at the top left. Isn't it the banks who loan the funds for mortgages? But now they want all the people will struggle, Scotty, to get in the property ladder either way. So don't know which makes more sense in the long run. Well, we used to be very big. It was a Tory, Margaret Thatcher, that pushed property ownership. we used to all be very big on renting. So, you know, I think the Tories need to have a consistency. And it was a Tory beaching that wrecked the railways, you know, that sort of stuff. So, I mean, I've found that these right-wing parties can be very, very damaging. They're interested in short-term greed. So there we are. I missed the tax dodger story. Was this an MP by chance? Oh, Kalelo, an MP and then some. Yes, an MP. And, you know, have a read for it. Just look it up and see what was going on. We're talking some serious, serious money as well. You know, so we need to get rid of people who are in there on the make. So it might be an idea to say about MPs, you get your salary and then that's it. It's up to you. Oh my goodness. There we are. A red Caucasian. You're almost extinct. Made of rubber. How very kind of you. There we are. We're not extinct though. Not yet. What's your favourite city in the world, Scotty? Oh, it'd have to be Glasgow, I think, Jerry. Although I like Edinburgh, I like Manchester, I like Sheffield, and I like London. I've stayed in all of them. And I've worked over in Newcastle, Carlisle, a lovely, lovely wee city. You know, fantastic stuff. So there we get... What have we got here? Stallion says, the taxman bred the Doberman. A few generations later, it's used against the taxman. Yes, absolutely. Stallion fish keeping. Hashtag, no, stallion fish keeping / gardening. So there we go. Cool, says Jerry. Absolutely, no problem, Jerry. Now, I call them all pocket liners. They're in it for the money, all the money they can take. Darren, it won't do them any good. By the time you make it as an MP and certainly to the front benches, you're going to be in your 40s or 50s. Now, if they've got a lifespan of another 40 years and they've been grabbing and grabbing and grabbing, you know, and then that'll be it, you know. I think it's a compensation. I was explaining to an idiot on another social media platform today, and I was explaining about the monarchy. If Scotland wants independence, they need to 100% back the monarchy. So, of course, you end up with this guy personally attacking me. Oh, yes, you're on your knees and, you know, you'll end up with a seat in the House of Lords. And I thought, if I wanted to be in the House of Lords, I would be in it. That's the difference, you see. Do you drive, says Alfie. I do, Alfie. Yes, I do drive. So there we are. Great Scotty, a travelling genius. Oh, yes, indeed. So there we are. Now, there's Decky, and he's not a monarchist. Decky, could you give us a reason rather than just the fact that you've had your head stuffed with nonsense? Because if we don't have the monarchy, who are we? You know what I mean? What car, says Alfie? Well, I have two cars, Alfie. I've got one that's, now what age is she? She's 33 years old in April. And I've got another one that's 23 years old. That's my sort of day-to-day one. Good evening, my friend, Candy Cane. How lovely to have you with us. And a very, very warm welcome to you, I say. There we are. Numpty Heat, come on and give us your chat, I say. Right, I need more followers. What's the problem with the following, guys? Somebody tell me. Why have you not all followed? You go up to the top left and tap the plus sign. I would think after 40 years of public service on television and radio, I think that it would be a nice touch for people just to follow and subscribe on the YouTube. If you're on the YouTube, guys, have you all subscribed? Let me see what's happening here. We'll just see who's subscribed and who's not. There we are. There's some who are subscribing and there's some who are not. There we go. Right, I need about maybe half a dozen people to come and subscribe on the YouTube channel. That would be wonderful if you could do that. I've uploaded lots of videos for you. So there we go. What's Numpty saying to it tonight? Oh, Is there anything on the telly tonight, guys? I wonder. So there you are. Do let me know. I mean, anything that somebody would watch. You sound like the guy who holds the party in the big house in Stogame. Alfie, I've been told that a few times. I've also been told I was the original inspiration for Stogame. So that's what gave them the idea. Scottie McClue with his Barrett. There we are. I have you on YouTube as well. Darren L. How's it doing on YouTube? Yes, is it a good clear picture tonight? And have you subscribed? That's what we need to know. I think you have, Darren. I think you told me you had. There we are. There's Jerry. Fantastic. Now then, what have we got here? Where do we see traditional jobs like ice cream vans in 20 years' time? It's more of the past time to tell the kids, or will Uncle Jerry still be going strong? Yes, indeed. The chimes, what do we like? Hello, Scotty, the TV is crap, says Ginty. Well, Ginty, this is where I think Scottie McClue comes in, and we have something that the people can interact with. Do you know what I mean? But we need to get the message out there. Everybody needs to share, and everybody needs to tap, tap, tappity, tap. Good evening to you, Scotty. Are the vegetarian lattice slice in a rich chicken sauce carbon? No, John, they are not carbon. So there you go. And we shouldn't be getting hung up with this carbon footprint. Carbon's good for the world. Very good. The more CO2 out there, the greener the planet becomes. There we are. Dinky-Doo. I'm riding the night, says Dinky. Are you, Winston? Are you out? Are you out on your horse, on your dependable mount? Ever watch on BBC iPlayer Ice Cream Wars? Very, very interesting. Oh, Jerry, it was tragic. These poor people. These poor people. And of course, I remember it. I remember it. You know what I mean? So there we go. Anyway, more followers, please, guys. I don't understand. Why are we not following? We should have 1 million by now. The new 15-minute smart city modelled at the WEF, the WEF, is a very frightening indeed. First one will be built in Saudi Arabia by 2027. What's that? What is this, Numpty Head? What are you talking about? We're talking about transport. A serious question. Why has chicken lost its taste? You have to throw gravy on it now just to enjoy it. I think maybe a lot of us have had our palates damaged by things like the pandemic and the flu, influenza A, influenza B, all that stuff. And I think it's kind of muted our taste buds a bit, that sort of idea. So I don't think the chicken will have lost its taste. I mean, a nice roast chicken. I got one for £1 at the supermarket about 8:30 one night. The guy said, "As is well?" I said, "Oh, I had no, not for me." They went, "No, is it?" I said, sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. And he went, "Would you like a roast chicken for £1?" I thought, well, it would be so rude not to. So that was that. So we went for it. Fantastic stuff. I say to you, if you're watching on the TikTok, please get following. If you're watching on the YouTube, get subscribing and give me a thumbs up. I'm just going to take a wee look, guys, and see if anybody has followed us and anybody's subscribed in the YouTube. Right. So we need another half dozen subscribing on the YouTube, please, guys. If you're watching YouTube, get subscribing. Yes, Poor. A 3-part series. Yes, Poor Family. Absolutely, Jerry. So there you go. Now, Hickory Dickory Docs just joined us. We love it. Can I have some more taps, guys? So can everybody get tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap? That's what we're looking for. Take your phones. Tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap, 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 tap. I don't want to tap too hard or I'll open all the apps up at once. That sort of idea, but if we can do that, that's a winner. Yes, Scotty, I had a 1963 Ford Anglia, one of my first cars. Now, do you know, Jerry, there was actually an Anglia before that. There was a 50s Ford Anglia. It might even have been an earlier one than that. And it was one of the wee sit-up and begs. As a friend of mine said, I wouldn't corner over 25 in that. Scotty, how can kids believe anything adults tell them when they've been lied to most of their life? Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny. I think they know it's a story, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't put it down as a lie. I mean, Santa Claus was a real person, Saint Nicholas. Dinky-Doo, Scotty, but he's grown a few arms and legs, and children like fairy stories. You know, look at Grimm's fairy tales, Hansel and Gretel, all that stuff, Babes in the Wood. Oh, Little Red Riding Hood, the Pantos, Cinderella. You know, so I think it's one thing to say the children have been reading fiction or taught fiction. It's another thing to say they've been lied to. So I wouldn't go that far, to be honest with you. Yes, I don't think that we lie to our children as such. But I take your point. I can remember somebody saying, don't give young people duff information, duff gen, but they love it. There we have it. What's your take on dinosaurs, real or fake? I might ring up about this. Well, Stallion, I heard recently that dinosaurs never existed. Now, I think, what about the one-eyed dinosaur, the Jathinkisaurus? You know, that's the thing. So we don't know, but I wouldn't mind taking some calls on that. Dinky-Doo, Scotty, Dinky-Doo. Lovely to have you with us, Simon. Where are you from, folks? If you're coming on, tell us where you're from. That's what we like. More likes, please, and more followers. So do come on and tell us where you're from. So real or fake? Yes, Stallion, it might be an idea. I mean, I have heard that that it's fake. Scotty, are you puffed out? Oh, I'm well puffed out. Do I know, Luke? Puffed out. Simon said, Dinky-Doo, Scotty, have you been watching Scotty McClue videos on the YouTube channel? Welcome, welcome. If you've just joined us on YouTube or on TikTok, you're watching Scotty McClue. We'll maybe open the phone lines soon, get a bit of chat. Dinky-Doo, Scotty La, hashtag FloatEye, all uppercase, beachy. Hashtag FloatEye, first lord of the internet. We love it. Now, what have we got here? Oh, that's quite interesting. There we go. I've just had a wee reminder about something. So the dinosaurs, we could discuss that. And Numpty Heed, you might give us a ring about these vehicles you're talking about and tell us what you think. The only thing about this WEF is who's elected these people. That's what we want to know. I say to you. Right, Dinky-Doo, do you eat haggis? I do, Mr. Man, and thoroughly enjoy it. But I tend not to eat it apart from around Buns time with the haggis and neeps. So I used to go out speaking to Buns suppers and had a sufficiency of tatties and neeps and haggis. And very often I would address the haggis in Buns' words. There we are. Try ringing. Put the lines on. I'll put the lines on for you, Stallion. Guys, do you want the phones on? And we'll take a call. There we are. Fantastic. Now, Stallion, with a bit of luck, that should be them up and running right now. There you are. There's the old sound. Oh. You're live on Scotty's Fun In. Who's that?
All right, Scotty, it's Pablo.
Pablo, how lovely to hear you. Now, Pablo, are you thinking the dinosaurs are real or fake?
I think they're fake, Scotty.
Right.
I'll tell you why. Only because when we was kids growing up in the 90s, in school, we'd talk about the dinosaurs. You'd see the figures in all the shop outlets to buy. You'd see Jurassic Park and films and things like that. But slowly, all that just vanished. As my children went into school and started developing, they didn't talk about the dinosaurs anymore. But where I draw the conclusion to why they're fake is basically they've got to tell us that some mythological creature lived on this planet. For the simple reason we wouldn't question things like aliens, Bigfoot, and things like that. Because why would they lie to us if they told us about dinosaurs? And I'm massive into like ufology, Bigfoot, I've seen a lot of things. And they've not even got a full skeleton to any of these dinosaurs.
Well, I was going to say, what about the natural history museums where they've got the skeletons?
Yeah, Scotty, but they haven't got the full skeleton of a dinosaur. They've got bits and pieces, and they've crafted it bit by bit, like a jigsaw, put it together. But there's no full dinosaur in the museum.
But have they not all been tested for age and things like that?
Well, I'm not too clued up on that side of things. All I know to this day, there's not a full skeleton of any dinosaur. And the word is, it's more likely there were dragons than dinosaurs. If you look at the Welsh dragon, it's on a flag. You tell me any country that has a dinosaur on it, and I'll buy it. But not
well, Luke's telling us, Luke's saying they've got loads of skeletons. He's just popped up on the TikTok and he said they've got loads of skeletons.
I think he's about the skeleton in his closet now. No, Scotty. They have skeletons, obviously fossils and things like that they've found over the years, but they cannot construct a full dinosaur. They even talk, let's get off the dinosaurs, they even talk about Jesus Christ. They say the pictures that we see now, with the long hair, the light skin, isn't the real figure of Jesus. I forgot the word I'm looking for. They said he would look more like, not like I'm trying to give you a picture, not like a Saddam Hussein, but you get that kind of thing, like dark hair, dark eyes, more of a Roman nose. And bit by bit, you're questioning what you've been taught.
Well, yes, because people do. I mean, Salvador Dali, Glasgow has got the Salvador Dali painting, Christ or St. John on the Cross. Now, it's an outstanding painting. If you haven't seen it, you can look it up. And poor old Tom Honeyman, the head of culture for Glasgow in the 50s, Dr. Honeyman, he was pilloried for buying this at £8,500. Now, the thing's priceless, absolutely priceless. He did a deal with Dali, fantastic, wonderful piece of work, and what have you. Now, before we jump to Jesus from the dinosaurs, because a lot of people are now turning back to God and believe that Jesus dwells among us in his risen power. So, you know, that's what we've got now. So rather than that jump, while we've got you on, Pablo, because you are something of an expert, you know, what about the Yeti? What about the what was the big one, the great big horned beast, the cattle? I'm
not too sure about that.
Yes, you do. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The other one, it's just the names jumped out my head. The one like a big ox.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, it gets confused with the big four. It's very similar. I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody will tell us on here, guys. What's the one like the big ox? So there we are. Now, what we've got here. Here's Elise on, and she says they've never found an entire skeleton. She agrees with you, and she says they made them in China. So the Chinese actually manufactured the dinosaur skeletons.
Right, I didn't know that, but they've got to tell us something exists. Why do they always look at you like a madman if you say, well, the Loch Ness Monster might exist? No, that was hoaxed in the 90s. It was shown in a newspaper.
No, you see, very often, if you are a specialist like you are, and you come out with the truth, rather than people admit that they are ignorant, and I don't mean that in an offensive way, they are ignorant and don't understand, you know, they'd rather put down the person as a crackpot. I mean, all the conspiracy theories about what they're going to do to us, this mob, you know, that's all starting to take shape, and you know, and everyone's saying, what a load of rubbish.
It's starting to unfold Scotty, but what I think, you might think I'm a bit bonkers here. I'm not going to mention his name, but you know he's very outspoken about conspiracy and this and that.
Yes.
I think these people get slow drips what's going to happen, and I think people slow drip us things about UFOs. Like, they don't discredit them now. They say there's things in the sky. There's military pilots that are spotted them on radar. These do not fly like any aircraft we have today, and things like that.
Well,
So
you see, all these people were told to shut up and were dismissed as lunatics. I mean, the first thing, if somebody's a big truth teller, you start to make out that they're a crackpot. You know what I mean?
Well, the simple thing is, Scotty, if you knew all this, you would be a threat to the military, anything like that. They would take you out of the game. As simple as that. If you
but I don't understand why you're a threat. Can we turn that down?
Well,
Sorry.
Can you hear that, Scotty?
Yeah, I don't know. I could just hear the noise in the background. You must have turned something up.
I don't know what that noise is, but what I'm saying is people, like, I tell you, I'm done hard. I don't believe people, when they say they're psychic and they can see through walls, they can project, astral project and all that. I believe that's nonsense, because if you can see through walls, you certainly wouldn't be here, because you could break anyone's surveillance, something like that. I believe people have a sensitivity based on genetics. I think people pick something up that's not in this world and it's in between. And I know that for a fact, Scotty. I believe stuff like that exists. And I just think going back to the dinosaurs, Scotty, I just think it's something that we can sort of believe. It teaches a bit about how their example of how we was created, because we couldn't survive while the dinosaurs were here. But it's like a fairy tale that the adults still believe.
Well, the mammoths, that's the one I was trying to remember. The mammoth, the great big hairy beast with the horns. Did the mammoth exist?
It's got a lot of names. It's got something called the skunk ape, Bigfoot, the Yeti. In different countries, some of them actually pray to this thing, especially like the more tribal countries. They believe it to be something sacred. Some others believe it to be something evil.
Well, the North American native Indians, you see, pray to the buffalo, as far as I understand, and thank the buffalo before they eat them. So the buffalo is not then dying in a very stressed way. Do you see what I mean?
A bit like India, people in India won't even kill a cow for food. They just use it for, I think I spoke to you before, we use it for natural resources like gas, just for what it eats and poos out. They use the gas from there. Yeah. But talking about the Yeti Bigfoot, I watched documentary, Scotty, and there's never a proper conclusive evidence, apart from there was one filmed, I think, early 80s, and it was where a guy was just filming a destination where Bigfoot was sighted, and then out of nowhere, this big ape-looking man turns around, looks at him, and then walks up and goes. Now, a lot of people have said they've tried to break that down and say it was a hoax, but they can't find it to be like a human in a costume and things like that. But then, flip that side, some people have come, like, sort of grassed them up and said they made this thing, and they had like a shoe print, and they showed how we made the shoe print. It was basically like on a sandal, that was a big sandal, and it had two hooks or something, like for the feet. So you don't know what to believe, Scotty.
Yeah, but the thing is, I've been watching videos of bear in Canada and in North America, and the bear comes right up to people's houses and sometimes gets in if it's got access. I've seen a bear go in and do a bit of shoplifting, and the guy, the local store was chasing, go on, get out of here, and all the rest of it. And the bear was in, I'll just take a packet of crisps and push off, And it's very, very interesting, because the Bigfoot might just be a big bear, because they do have these, they adapt to humanity round about them.
Well, Scotty, they do a lot of things now. You've got to think of technology now. There's these trail cameras, and they stick them up on trees, because in the UK, I spoke to you before, but not in great detail, there's thoughts that big cats roam the UK countryside, And what they've done, they've got these flash cams that take images of anything moving, and there's been no conclusive evidence of a big cat. You see the reindeer, you see the badger or whatever else, a squirrel, but nothing. And what's been happening similar to the Bigfoot, they're doing shows on it, and all we find there is, like you stated, a bear. And you know, a bear can stand on its 2 feet.
Yeah.
And stand up.
And a big black bear or something like that is a fair size, you know.
Exactly, and then when it's on both feet, it was actually damaging the camera. And they realised the way they discredited with Bigfoot, they could tell by the claw coming to the shot. I do find it fascinating, but out of all of them, Scotty, if someone was to turn around and tell me dinosaurs exist, with the same breath, look at someone who says Bigfoot exists or aliens exist and put them in a nut house.
So, Pablo, tell me this. What about the big birds? What about the pterodactyl and all that lot? Did they exist?
It'd be hard to say. I put them more like dragons, but what they say is certain animals, like I think it's the tortoise or the rhino, was the closest to still be around with a dinosaur. So how could such a powerful animal all die? This is what I don't grasp. A powerful animal like that just die, others may survive, and then human life was created. I know there has to be death, and something else can be created, like the animal kingdom.
And maybe the early humans killed the dinosaurs and ate them.
No, I just don't believe they. I just don't believe they exist. I think in 50 to 100 years, they'll be teaching something else. They'll be teaching something else. Maybe it will be the Bigfoot. Because if you think history, they have to tell us about history. Do you think, Scotty, in 10 years, not 10 years time, maybe 10 years time, do you think they're still teaching in school the Titanic?
Well,
will they be,
yes. I mean, but also, you see, there's conspiracy theories about the Titanic. So you wonder when you're teaching stuff in school, are you teaching the facts, you know?
Well, that's it. But I just think someone has to replace something else. And I don't think it's just to cause fear, Scotty. But one reason I didn't like history was nothing ever good come out of history. You'd see the slaves, you'd see the Titanic going down, you see kings getting beheaded. And I just think, what history is this? This is telling us the generation before us were heartless. And all the other rubbish that comes with it. It almost reminds me like news today, Scott. It's very rare you see anything good on the news, and it just feels like.
Well, I think this is people that are trained as journalists are trained, but that bad news sells better than good news. And genuinely, there are things that happen, plane crashes, all that sort of stuff that's got to be reported. But that's a straight report. But the angle that people put on political stuff, you know, it's got to be, they're trying to, I think that the old-fashioned journalism has said, no, stick to the basics, stick to what we always do, get the bad news out there, get the death, get the murder, get all that out there, report all of that, never mind the wonderful good things that happen, because people might not watch. And I think it's a confidence thing with the news companies that they say, no, they won't watch, we'll lose our audience. And their audiences actually, when you look at the audience figures for a lot of news programs, they're pretty poor. They're pretty small audiences. And I think that they're just in a panic. They need to keep up this. Plus, if it's been pushed by the greedies, if the agenda's been pushed by the greedies, then they're going to push the greedies' agenda because the greedies will pay.
Well, that's it. I mean, we just replay the same stuff, Scotty. I mean, I don't know if you remember years ago, do you remember the tsunami, the devastation of the tsunami?
The tsunami, yeah, well, that's genuine. You know, and that's...
Yeah, that's genuine, 100%. But what I'm saying to you, Scotty, is the same with 9/11. It was a tragedy, but what these news companies kept doing, Scotty, was replaying this thing. I don't think humans should watch that, Scotty. I think it can cause more harm than good. You know, at least when you watch a horror film or something like that, it says 18, you know, be aware. But it's like we were drilled into. I know it's shocking to see, you know, a country just going under the water.
But I think what's happening is...
I don't want to see that.
No, the news audiences are getting thinner and thinner on the ground because people are just putting it off.
Well, you know, my mum, she used to be one of them who used to watch the news, and it's just the same breaking news, Scotty. You think, come on, something must have happened in the last hour or two, and it's not. It's the same nonsense.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now then, can I tell you, we've had Elise on. Remember the lovely Elise that phoned us last week? And she says, great call. And she says, Pablo, great call. Obviously can't say much on here. So there we are. And Vicky B says, our Pablo always gives us a good call. So there you go, my boy. That's a pretty good recommendation.
Well, Scotty, I couldn't just sit there and just put comments. I thought, I've got to look. Well, let's finish on the Jesus Christ thing. Right?
Yes, oh yes, because, let's go back to him.
Yeah, bit by bit, they're trying to change the image of Christ. And they're trying to say Jesus Christ would have been your average-looking man, right? Which I don't believe. They're trying to say he would have been on the shorter side because people from, I think, Jerusalem weren't that tall. And Lucifer would have been far better looking, more charismatic, because he would have had to lure the people in. Now, where I disagree with that is if you was Jesus Christ put on this planet, you would have to stand out from the rest, i.e. you would have to be tall, beautiful, you must have a voice that captures everybody. And I just don't buy it. It seems like they're trying to turn the tables around to what we think Christ is. And that's what I don't like.
Well, why don't we? It's a Sunday night. It's the Sabbath evening. Why don't we put out to the nation, give us a call and tell us what you think Jesus Christ would look like and how he would sound.
Well, let's see how it goes.
Hey, love you lots. You take great care of yourself. DINKY-DOO. See you, Lala. There we are. What a top man. That's our Pablo. Excellent call. Quite right, Elise. I agree with you. Well, maybe get a call from Elise. Everybody was raving about her call. Evening Pal says, Stuart Anthony. Absolutely. Scotty, I hope you like my stitch video on the old firm. Good one, Joshy. I'll have a look at that. Still never seen a live haggis, Scotty. They're sneaky, says Rab. Interesting, but it's true. There's been more Bigfoot sightings this while because of camera traps. Yes, the technology. What are you doing, says GTA. GTA, we are doing TikTok's top talk show. Evening, pals, says Stuart Anthony. What's the number, says Rab? The number's 0141 628 9795. So there we have it. Good evening, Scotty. How are we, one and all? Karim, how lovely to have you with us, and a very, very warm welcome. This is great. That was a superb call from Pablo there, I can't tell you. Francis has joined us again. Guys, I need more followers on the talk. Some of you are very slow at following. Get up to the top there and click follow. Now then. You're live in Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
DINKY-DOO, Kareem, Scotty.
Ah, Kareem, DINKY-DOO. How are we?
I'm not too bad, Scotty. Currently just in the bath relaxing.
Wonderful. What about this for a wee Sunday night pop-up?
It's nice, Scotty. It's just everyone's at the stage now where they're relaxing and having you on the background.
Just chilling.
Absolutely, yes, yes. So, but I enjoyed last night. It was good calls at time, and it was quite informative as well. So it was a good episode.
Last night was a cracker, and I like the concept. I mean, we are growing. You know, the YouTube channel's still the world's best kept secret, but we are growing. You know, and I think you've got to keep the faith.
Yeah, and you do have your dafties that come on, but you just give them a hug and send them on their way.
Send them on the way, Kareem. Absolutely, yes, indeed. I think that's what it's all about. You know, I need 4 people to come and subscribe on the YouTube channel, so hopefully they will.
Yes, quick topic, Scotty, because I'm not going to stay too long tonight. I felt I had a big spell last night. People were getting fed up with my voice.
Well, no, people will not be getting fed up, Kareem. You see, you'll get all sorts of comments. Just ignore all that. What I was going to say to you, I've had a bit of argy-bargy on that social media platform that you copied me in on. and it's the same
Yeah.
rubbish they're coming out with.
I was going to just move on to that just there, Scotty. Great minds collide.
I just want to thank Charlie Walker for subbing. Thanks, Charlie. Brilliant. What's the YouTube, says Charlie? It's Scottie McClue, voice of the world, radio talk show. So nothing pretentious there.
Yeah. Basically, for the people that don't won't go into too much detail, but there's political parties that want the monarchy to be, well, Scotland to be made a republican. And my argument when I was putting it down was then we kiss goodbye to the soft no vote or any potential unionist votes, because at the end of the day, the monarchy is, you know, it's there. And I did write this down, that the monarchy will be long here after you and me when we disappear from this earth.
Yes. Monarchy's been around. The monarchy actually predates Scotland. Journalists argue with me on this, but it's 2,347 years old, and they were the ancestors of Ree, the first of the old Irish / Scottish kings. R.I. Ree, like Le Roi, royal, you know what I mean? And that Ree was the leader. And then, of course, 1320, we elected our king. You know, and but they all go, but they've got a bit of German and a bit, everybody's got a bit of something in them. But the Queen's father was a direct descendant of Malcolm II. And what you're up against there, these sort of ignorant nationalists, if you like, they're going to lose Scotland her independence. So it's not going to be the unionists that are going to kill it off. It's going to be these people who say they're nationalists.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, I did say, listen, whether you like the monarchy or not, if it means Scotland gets independence, I think that's a fair compromise.
Oh, yes, but they don't see it as that. They think that the nationalists are so important and that they're so important that they're going to be able to influence the future. Now, one very basic thing is you're going to need a new Scotland bill for independence, right? Now, any bill to become an act of parliament, as you well know, has to be given royal assent. If I was the king, I would never, ever give it royal assent if I felt that I was signing away my own, cheery bye warrant.
Yeah.
There's a guy called Richard, and he says, you talk one load of bull. Now, Richard's a perfect example. He's not smart enough to understand what we're talking about, so we're talking rubbish in his mind.
Well, if £1 out of tax goes to the royal, to the monarchy, you think, as I've said this so many times, find how much money goes to these areas for the houses of residence, the employment, the hospitality, the tourism. It goes so much to it, and so much bigger. But people's hatred, saying, oh, these parasites, they do this. I'm sorry, if you want to vent your anger out in parasites, look at big corporations that are not paying proper tax.
Absolutely, and look at the crowd that are trying to organise us and steal off us and take from us. There's your parasites. Certainly not the monarchy. The monarchy, the basic function of the monarchy is as curators and custodian of the crown. The crowns are a symbol of authority. Very, very simple. But these half-wits are getting caught up in personalities and what have you. And they have had baddies. I mean, William of Orange was a dreadful, dreadful baddie. But we've had some pretty good ones recently. Old George V, Edward VII, Queen Victoria, the Queen herself, George VI. They've all been pretty good people.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting in some of the lives that I was talking on TikTok. I find that person that you just spoke about there, making that comment, it's about emotional attachment. So it's the upbringing that if they feel that, they be surrounded with that, even though you're speaking facts just now, and it makes sense.
They've had their heads stuffed with nonsense as wee ones, and they can't any longer see the big picture. So they're effectively, they've got a handicap there because they can't see the big picture.
And that we were talking about, not even with the monarchy, but if you look at, and no voters. A lot of the no voters feel, and they've said, oh, we'd be doing our grandparents or our great-grandparents, it would be an insult to them. They're not here. They did their part back in those days.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, you're going to be the grandparent, and you have to now set the example for your children, their children's children, for a better progressive future.
Exactly.
And at the moment, your emotional ties to this dying union, basically, is bringing Scotland down and down and down.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And as I say, the ones that will kill off the independents will be the nationalists themselves if they don't wise up. And that's a very silly thing to be doing.
I think it's the National Party, SNP's official stance is the monarchy's going nowhere. And as much as I like the ALBA Party and the Greens, they're the two that are pushing for that. But I don't see anything coming from that. I think the public really do support the monarchy. And I think whether you like King Charles or not, when Prince William becomes king, he's younger, he's dynamic, he's got a lot of ideas, a lot of people can relate to him. He's going to be he'll be a good king. He will be a good king. And I think I gave you a quote that if you were to look at the monarchy's popularity ratings, it is for politicians would die for it because it's always consistently in the 80% or above. And
absolutely.
That is what we have to remember.
Kareem, have a lovely bath. Lovely to hear you. And Dinky-Doo.
Thanks, McCLUE, Scotty. See you later.
And you see you later. There we are. That's our Kareem. Always a good call, Kareem. You know, always very much on along the lines of the Scottish. He agrees that we should be clear of Westminster and of all the corruption and double dealing. What's the number, says Rab? The number, Rab, is 0141 628 9795. Benny says, your thoughts on the Calmac fiasco? Well, it's not really a Calmac fiasco. It's been brought about by underinvestment by the government over the years. So there we are. So I don't think you can really point the finger at the company. They have a job to do. And of course, that used to be David McBrain Limited, or David McBrain brackets 1928 close brackets Limited. So you see, over the years, I mean, the steamship was invented on the Clyde, Henry Bell's Comet, 1812. So that's not true entirely. 1802, the Charlotte Dundas, called after the daughter of Lord Dundas, Port Dundas, all that, the Forth and Clyde Canal. So there we have it. And you had the Charlotte Dundas in 1802. So let's say that just a few years after Watt discovered the power of steam and the steam condenser, we were getting industrialized. And in 1802, you had the Charlotte Dundas running on the Forth and Clyde Canal. 10 years later, Henry Bell's Comet on the Clyde, of which a replica was built in 1962 for the 150th anniversary by the apprentices at Lithgow's, and has sat beside the supermarket at Port Glasgow for years and years. And I've done a YouTube on the Comet. So look up YouTube, Scottie McClue, Port Glasgow, and you'll get a bit about the Comet. Jerry says, sure, the Waverley's still running. Well, Jerry, it was a dear old friend of mine that was responsible for putting the engines in the Waverley. Yes, Rankin and Blackmore, Greenock. She was built at A&G Ingalls at Point House in Glasgow and floated down the Clyde to Greenock and then just up the hill. They probably did it with rail wagons, because I can remember rail lines on the docks at Greenock when I was a wee boy. Guys, I'm going to have to close the TikTok and open it up again. So don't go away. There we are. That's our TikTokers gone. And we can come back in a minute. There we are. Dinky-Doo. Fantastic. Lovely stuff. Right. So that's the end of that TikTok, and we'll start another one. If I can do, if you hold on with me. There we are. And that should go live again. Go live. Lovely, lovely. Right. So you should be back with me on TikTok very, very soon, I can tell you. Oh, yes. Good evening, TikTokers, and welcome to Scottie McClue. That's them back now. Amazing, Scotty, says Jerry. Yes, absolutely. 1947, the Waverley. She replaced the first Waverley, which was, the first Waverley would be maybe the 1890s. And she picked up a bomb at Dunkirk. And her master at Dunkirk was Captain John Cameron. And I can remember John Cameron very well, a great guy. And he was given command of the new Waverley when she came out. Isn't that beautiful? And she was owned by the London and North Eastern Railway, Jerry, and she was based at Craigendoran Pier, just up from Helensburgh there. And then the Caledonian Steam Packet took over the London and North Eastern Railway. So there we are. So McBrain's was incredibly well organized, guys. And then, of course, it became Calmac because there was a uniting. When did they do it? Was it 73? The Caledonian Steam Packet Company and David McBrain Limited united as Caledonian McBrain. And then they became Calmac because it's a bit more catchy. So there we are. Well, I didn't know that, Scotty. Well, there you go, Jerry, you see. And I can remember Captain Cameron. He was around still commanding. He was commanding the Queen Mary, the one that we've got opposite the Science Centre, sitting there. And I think John might have been the last captain. He picked up a DSC, and he also had a Royal Naval rank. So there we have it, a Royal Naval rank for his work at Dunkirk. I just searched for the Port Glasgow video. Was just phone-in videos came up. Kirsty and I are near Charlotte Dundas Court just now. Well, VJ, no, it should come up. Scottie McClue, Port Glasgow, or Comet as well. Put that in and see how things go. Fantastic. Let everybody know we're live. There's Ross has joined us. DINKY-DOO, Ross, lovely to have you with us. What was the book that predicted the Titanic disaster? Ooh, Mr. Martin. What was the book that predicted it? I don't know. Was it in the Bible? There we are. We'll take a long guess. I was just listening back to that, Scott. That was a great call, Scotty. And now I'm back with you guys. Fantastic. That was a great call, Stallion Fish. Wonderful. Our Pablo on talking. Amazing stuff. So that was the story. So anything about the Clyde steamers, feel free to ask Nostradamus. Was it Nostradamus, Mr. Martin? Did he predict it? He was some man. There we are. Some of his stuff's quite good. To the telephones, if you want to join in tonight, you're very, very welcome. We've popped up for an hour. We'll do a little bit more. We're back on the TikTok. Long time, Scotty, originally from Lark Hall, watching you now from Houston in Texas. Ross, I love it. We are truly global right now. Wow, I remember listening to you in 1994 on the, wait a minute, 1994 on the radio, and here you are still alive on TikTok. We are Mr. Meat. Yes, absolutely. Lovely to be back with you. So was that right, Mr. Martin? Have we got that one? Therefore, a face for radio, says Meat. You may have, Meat, but see, with a wee nip and tuck, you could probably do telly like I did. Getting globally, absolutely, Meat. Yes, we are global. We are right out there, and we've had thousands. 50 million people have watched Scottie McClue on TikTok to date. So how about that? So stick that in your pipe, Meat, and smoke it, son. So there we have it. Now, Mr. Martin, have we got this right? We want to know. Have another search for Port Glasgow. Some comments on the live have been filtered. I love it. That's the wee trolls, and they're getting junked off. So there you have it. DINKY-DOO says, Ty-Talk, how lovely to have you with us. Get following, guys, if you're on the TikTok. That's what it's all about. Big following on there, I say to you. And let everybody know that we are live. I've passed the number on to my friend to see if he rings up. Well, I hope he does, Pablo, because we want calls like yours. Outstanding calls. Scotty, can you tell Liam to get on? I can, Leonard, yes. Come on, Liam, get funny. A short novel which uncannily predicted the sinking of the Titanic some 14 years before that ship's ill-fated voyage. His name was Morgan Robertson, 1861 to 1819 to 1861 to 1919, a ticket. You mean you should really put in, Mr. Martin, 1861 to 1919. That's that, because you're on a different century there, you see. He has bridged the centuries, I say to you. Watching you while I love my wife Sharon painting. Say hello to Shazza from Eldersley, originally Ross. We'll say a big hello to Shazza from Eldersley. Stallion Fish has sent me £1. It's come up here as 99p. That's so kind of you. Scotty, would you ever lower your standards and become a traffic warden? Oh, Professor Numpty, I don't think I could go that far down the food chain. No, I think I disagree with that. No, you'd be better signing on, I think. Right, a traffic warden. Oh, no. Although, having said that, when I was wee, your traffic wardens were kind of sergeant majory types. They'd been in the army and everything, you know. Futility, the wreck of the Titan. Wow. Well, you see, there are conspiracy theories surrounding the Titanic. Are you still in Scotland? I am, meat. Yes, absolutely. You look how I thought you sounded in 1994. Thank you, meat. Poll's not looking good for independence, fella, says Carol. It's pretty good. It's about 55%. So, I mean, if we went now, we'd definitely get it. But the nationalists need to get backing the monarchy 100%. I had a dream where I was a snow globe. I was a bit shaken when I woke up. Sparkles! I see what you just did there. Brilliant stuff. We love it. So there we are. Anything on the telly, guys? People have been watching the telly tonight. How do you keep your good looks, Scotty? Oh, Jerry, I follow your example. That's what it's about. I drink the water, Jerry. There's the water. Oh, fantastic stuff. Keep dreaming, fellas, says Carol. Yeah, Carol, well, these are the facts, so there's no dream with that. Independence is following the dream, but these are the facts. 55%. So we went now, Scotland would be an independent country right now in front of you. And then you could do your sarky stuff. I say, fella. There we are. Holy water, says Jerry. Absolutely, Jerry. From the Jordan. Blessed. That's what we like. Now, who have we got here? More followers, please, on the TikTok. Can everybody on the TikTok give us a tap, tappity, tap? Tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap. I've got 379 likes. The most I've had likes-wise was, I think, 10 or 12,000 in a pop-up. Is that not amazing? I hope we can gain independence soon, says Sparkles. Well, we're still getting a bit of cheek from Westminster. They think that they can say no. But I think that needs to be looked at. And I know we've already had the Supreme Court, but we need to take all the legislation of the Union apart. There we are, and we'll see what is what. Meet, are you with me or are you against me? I'm just looking at your comments, and some of them are a bit negative. Guys, can you check out Meat Popsicle and see if you think he's a good influence or less so? Which famous actor's grandfather was the founder of RADA? Well, the founder of RADA, I think, was Herbert Beerbohm Tree. Am I right? But I'm not sure who his grandchild is. Jerry says the snowman. Absolutely. My dreams melted away. We get it, Jerry. It's Numpty Heat. I once dreamt I was a snowman, then my dreams melted away. Woo! We love it, Numpty. I see you did that. Law, they said, polls said 60% in 2014. Better together, and the majority know it. User, better together for who? For England and Wales, we're definitely better together. For Scotland, we're certainly not better together. But the nationalists need to get their act together and start monarchizing themselves. So there we have it. Numpty says Edinburgh schools now serving plant-based products and not meat anymore. It's began. Well, Numpty Heed, was it you was telling me they were going to feed us crickets? El Grillos. Just remembering those days on Scott FM back in the 90s. Absolutely meat. But are you with us or are you against us? That's to say, you know, you've got to ask yourself, why are you saying these things? Will Scotland ever get independence? As long as the Scots monarchise themselves, they're in with a chance. If they keep, trying to bin off the monarchy and become a republic, they'll just kick it into the long grass forever, because there's no way they're going to win the unionist vote. I would say that the polls were right. It probably was on 60%, but then you had the opposition really, really pulling out all the stops to get rid of it. Sorry, Scotty, but you've got that wrong. But hey, only time will tell. What have we got wrong, user 975? Scotty doesn't get things wrong. I only deal in facts. Greetings from Walsall. Dennis, we love Walsall, the home of heavy industry in the Midlands. Walsall, I'm hungry. I'm going to have an ham cob. There we are. It was Oliver Reed. Mr. Martin, Oliver Reed. Was he the grandson of, was it Herbert Bourbon Tree? Have you looked that up and checked that one, Mr. Martin? There we go. That's what we want to know. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that? Nobody. They couldn't handle it. They thought they'd ring, and then they found out it was for real. If you're ringing Scotty McClue, go for it. Come on and have a chat. There we go. Oliver Reed, the great Oliver Reed. Mr. Martin, a very, very fine actor. So there we have it. Totally up for India. Haven't seen or heard of you for nearly 30 years. Well, meet Popsicle. That's because I've been working on other stations. Scotty is very clued up in his knowledge, says Francis. Good day, sir, from Georgia in the United States of America. We love it. Facts according to Scotty. No, Carol. Facts are facts. You can't have a fact according to somebody. You can have an opinion according to somebody, but not a fact. A fact is a fact. There we are. Facts are facts. Opinions are legion. Fair point on the monarchy. Technically, we continue to be one after independence. Well, the monarchy is a Scottish institution, and we need it. Used to listen to on Century, I think it was, the late show. Brilliant, says Byrne. Oh, Byrne. Century was huge. 5.2 million people. And then we put all the stations together and had 9 million people. Dinky-Doo, says Scotty from North Carolina. Gary, we love you in North Carolina. I've been told to come to America, and they'd give me all the late night telly in New York and the radio to chat to the people. Herbert Bourbon Tree, the beer bomb tree, yes. There you are, Mr. Martin. 1904, if I remember right. RADA was founded, is that right? There'll need to be another referendum on republic in an independent state. Well, you see, meet Popsicle. You wouldn't be allowed that. The monarchy would need to know their future was secured before they would even consider, breaking up the UK. I can tell you that. Are fairy tale books fact-checked before they get published? Well, Professor Numpty, having a look at recent fact-checkers, and they tend to be the fairy tales. What kind of music do you enjoy, Scotty? Oh, Dennis, everything. As they say, I have fairly Catholic tastes. There's my music there. Can you see it? There's some of it. There we go. We like that. Right, off to the telephones. See who we've got here. You're live on Scotty's Funny, and who's that? An idiot. Right, no problem at all. Idiots, I suppose, can fun as well. And we'll give him a lifetime ban on the number. There we are. Block. Block the idiots, I say. Very important. Right, he's gone. You'll never hear him again. If independence happens, does everything smell of roses? No, Paul, but it'll be a lot better because Scotland will get to keep its own income. All the revenue from oil, from gas, from wind, from wave, from whiskey, from food. Scotland's a larder. You see what I mean? Well, it could be secured. Nothing stopping a vote after the fact. There you are, meat popsicle. On the razzle again, big man. Big Truth, you're always on the razzle. Yes, what are you like? You should give it a rest and just come and join us. Take a leaf out of Scottie McClue's book. That's what it's about, I say to you. Check your Herbert beer bomb tree, Mr. Martin, see if it's 1904. RADA was founded. That's what it's about. David's joined us. Adrian's joined us. Lovely to have you with us. And a very warm welcome. Get following, guys. Very important. Now, who have we got here? I can't understand why the TikTokers are a bit slow at following, because it's not too much to ask. Sorry, I had to laugh from gas and wind. Oh, the gas and wind. We've got plenty of gas and wind on here, and it's free at the point of delivery. Is that not beautiful? There are. Welcome, I say, if you've just joined us. Now, we've been up for over an hour, so perhaps it's time to push off. How much does Scotland pay to the UK government? £75 billion a year, Dennis, at least. There we are. And that gets squandered on Brexit. And, when we had that lady Prime Minister for a wee while. 25th of April, 1904, 118 years ago. How about that, Mr. Martin? I'll bet you're impressed. Personally, I believe in India, but I also think we should keep some nukes. Oh, keep the nukes. Nothing wrong with keeping the nukes. There we go. They can sit quite happily. What was it the late Prince Philip used to say? To keep the peace, you need to be prepared for war. That's the stuff for you. Are you having a Buns Night show on Wednesday? Jerry, I think we might. There we are. Mr. Martin says, you're the man, Scotty. So are you, Mr. Martin? Let's not kid ourselves. Right, guys, I think I'll give you a tune on the accordion because it's Sunday night. And you deserve a wee tune. You've all been so good. But please get subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you're watching YouTube, make sure you are subscribed because we need to build up the world's top talk show. Totally Scotty. No one would mess with us. So there you are. You're quite right. They would not. And yes, you're number one, Scotty. Jerry, you're such a lovely, kind man. Right, here we go. Are we ready? my darlings. A wee tune in the squeeze box for you all. It's been an absolute privilege being with you tonight. When are you Scotch going to understand that us English want rid of you? Well, us English is just you, the gumster. The rest of England doesn't. So there you are. So you need to come to Scotland, get yourself an education. There's Pumper saying, absolutely lovely. We like that. Thank you very much. Jerry Thompson says, great, fantastic. Scotty, why was the UK so interested in European countries losing their currencies and all dealing in euros? Was this pre-Brexit strategy? Well, Stallion, as you are a very brilliant man, you may well be onto something. Frankie says, up the Army Air Corps in America, yes. So there, when are you Scotch? I love that. Gumster, it's when are you Scots? S-C-O-T-S. Scotch is something you drink. Very, very old-fashioned word. So you're showing your ignorance there. Scotty, you'd be a perfect sports commentator and any sports radio show like Top Sport. Thank you, Alexander. There they are coming into the final furlong now. And it's a bit on the outside. Smith on the inside. Fantastic. Scotty McClue just a little bit ahead there. Fantastic. Invest in gold this year, says Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin, this is gold. Scotty McClue is gold. The internet is gold. Dinky-Doo, I say to you, everybody should get following Scotty McClue. There we have it on here. Parabellum, I don't know that. Cerebellum. Is energy nationalised in Scotland? No. No, Dennis. We've got energy companies. Totally, Scotty. Absolutely. Lots of lovely viewers. Who have we got here? Have you been to Vietnam? No, but good morning, Vietnam. There you are. What about that? I say to you. I had 50p on McClue. Nice one there. Thank you, Stallion. Did you like that? There we go. And then cricket. It's far more relaxed, isn't it? Good afternoon and welcome to Lords. The square is looking very beautiful this afternoon in the sunshine. The grass, the headkeeper tells me, is at 6 mm throughout the square. And we're just waiting for England to come in and bat. I have a lovely lemon cake sent in by Mrs. McCLUE of Reading. There we go. What about a bit of that? Are you into the Delta Blues? Oh, yes, Scotty. What have we got here? Scotty, what do you think of the new Defenders? The old Land Rover Defenders. Well, I have always loved Land Rover. I mean, I've been with Land Rover for 28 years. And had some right old characters with me. You'll see one behind me there. But I've never really been a great one for the old Land Rover because it wasn't particularly comfortable and I couldn't get my elbow out the window. So there you have it, you see. 3 Scots went to the bar. Right, Gumster? Yes, and what happened? There we hear it. Is Nicola Sturgeon losing her authority, says Akil? I don't think so, Akil. No, I think she's doing very well. There you have it. Right, Scotty, how are you? We're Dinky-Doo, Callum. We're just about to push off. Thank you so much. Get following on the TikTok, though. I think it's important that we all follow Scotty McClue. There are, and there's lots of videos for you. So have a look at every single one of these. Philippe, lovely to have you with us. I'll sing you the goodbye song. Are we ready, guys? Join in. After 3. 3. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Take care, everybody, as you go. Goodbye, everybody. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. And a cheerio. Scott, how are you? We're great, Callum. Lovely to have you with us. Thank you, Philippe. And I say a good night and God bless to all you beautiful, beautiful viewers and listeners, dinky-doo. Stick out your tongues and say ta-ta. Bye-bye.